first the English reading and then this Hindi reading of Ramayana. Om Bhuvaswaha Tatsavitravarenayam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo Yo Naha Prachodaya. Om Shanti 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 Om. So if you have this English book, you can open it on page number 63. This is the second Kand, Ayodhya Kand. And title of this chapter is Ram, according to this author. Kaikeyi was Dashrath's third and youngest queen, after Kaushalya and Sumitra. She was his favorite, and she was Bharat's mother. Her father, King Ashwapati of Kaikeyi, was growing old, and Dashrath sent Bharat to visit his grandfather. Sumitra's son Shatrughan went with Bharat. Ashwapati was as happy as he could be as he lavished his love and hospitality on the princess. In Ayodhya, not the sun above was the light of that day, light of that city and its aging king, but Ram. The Devas knew who Ram was, but he himself was not aware of his divinity, save on rare occasions, as when he faced Parshuram and someone from deep inside him rose to meet the Bhargav's challenge. Shiva's bow and Vishnu's had been light in his hands, but he was hardly conscious of being Narayan himself, or he would not have suffered as he did during his life, as every mortal man must. Because sometimes we wonder, when God incarnates, do they really know they are gods? Or do they forget? Sometimes maybe consciously they forget because they want to be just like us. Okay. So in fact, I asked Guruji one time this question, and that was his answer also. He said, no, they just don't like to remember that they are gods. In fact, Ram was not aware of being special at all, and he gave freely and generously of his affection. However, the world saw qualities in him that were more than merely human. For instance, his appearance was so arresting that wherever the prince went, every gaze turned to his dark face and his magnificent form. They said in Ayodhya that looking at Ram's face was like seeing a bit of heaven. He was brave, he was strong and charming. He was imperturbable. That big word means calm. So nothing perturbed him. As Vashisht and his father saw when Parshuram confronted him, until he strung Vishnu's bow, and then he was more fearsome than the Bhargav. But no man can live in the constant knowledge that his own son is an avatar. Dashrath quickly revered to his simple and boundless father's love for his prince. He seldom thought either of Shiva's bow or of Vishnu's. The old man knew nothing of Ravan of Lanka and the strange and perilous path his son must tread. Ram was the soft son at Dashrath's side in the autumn of his days. The prince was kind and courteous, wonderfully intelligent and thoughtful of everyone, whether they were kings or commoners. He made no distinction. He saw unerringly into men's hearts, regardless of whether they were kshatriyas or servants, and had the rarer gift of compassion. If someone was harsh to him from envy or sorrow, he never retorted in kind but tried to fathom the cause. Many who had come to the prince with their hearts set against him left praising him. It was easy to love Ram, indeed. It was impossible to resist him. His charm was a profound thing, not quite of this world. Consider his nature. He never seemed to remember any good he did, And this he did daily because he was in a position to as his father's favorite son. But he never forgot a favor he received, however slight. They said in Ayodhya that he never forgot a smile. But Ram was no fool if he was kind. He read men's minds with the sureness of someone much older than he was. He saw through you with the first word or glance. You had the uncanny feeling he knew you better than you did yourself and loved you no matter who you were. He might forgive you any malice at all, but you could never deceive Ram, yet you never felt he judged you. He loved the old and always had time for them. He said he learned so much from the elderly about the world they had lived in for longer than he had. He went freely among his people like a commoner himself, never with any guards. He said the people were his life and they in return adored him. Ram had just one obsession. He would never tell a lie. Not under any circumstances. However expedient it was, or apparently harmless, it was as if his life depended on the truth. His people marveled at this quality in such a powerful Kshatriya. They said that of all the illustrious line of Ikshvaku, Ram was surely the jewel. Ram had a deep and subtle mind and was the joy of his gurus Vishisht, Markandeya, and Vamdev. His knowledge of the Vedas and the other scriptures was exhaustive, but he was also original in his exposition of the Sanatan Dharma. He was luminously relevant. He could translate the oldest proverb or syllogism into startling everyday pertinence. This gift took even Vashishta unawares with its simple brilliance. Often the rishi wondered if this prince learned from him or the other way around. At times, when Ram illumined a great truth from the Vedas with a vibrant metaphor from the streets of Ayodhya, Vishisht wondered if he was not hearing the timeless wisdom for the first time. Ram's expositions verged on revelation. Yet Ram never spoke out of turn. He had been born with the gift of keeping his own counsel. With the discrimination of a Brihaspati, he knew unerringly who his friends were and who his enemies. Brihaspati is the gurus of the Devatas. It is perhaps absurd to try to enumerate the qualities of a prince whose perfections we know were very likely numberless. So in this chapter, they're talking about the qualities of Ram. So they say you really cannot say all the qualities of Ram. He was an artist of merit. He played on the veena and the flute with talent, through neither with the same wild genius as he was to play one of them. An age later, near the end of the Dwapar Yuga, when he came again as another, altogether more flamboyant prince of the earth. So over here, he's talking about when he came as a Vishan. Then he really showed off his flute playing. He was a master, as every Kshatriya should be, of horse and elephant and of the views of war. View is the way they arrange the soldiers in the war. That's a view. He drove a chariot like the fleeting wind. The Devas knew his archery was unrivaled, not just in this world, but all the realms. He was a master of his anger. He had no knowledge of envy. As Narad said to Valmiki, in the springs of Ayodhya, all the virtues that Brahma ever created were gathered as the galaxies are within the universe. Ram was an embodiment of grace, but most of all, he was human, and like any man, he could suffer. Not just his father, his mothers, his exquisite wife, and his adoring people loved Ram. The knowing earth wanted him to be her sovereign. After all, it was what he was born for. So that's why he titled this chapter Ram, because over here Ram's qualities are mentioned. Okay, so any question, any comment? Pretty straightforward, right? So let's continue with the next chapter then, a Yuvraj for Ayodhya. As he grew older, Dashrath's world was fuller than ever of his eldest son. The father saw the greatness of the young man with his three mothers, between whom he made no distinction, with his wife and his brothers, with the rishis and the ministers in the palace, and outside the palace with the people of Ayodhya. And the aging king wanted to crown Ram Yuvraj, the heir apparent. He longed to see his son stand before him in the royal sabha, dripping with the waters of the Abhishek. So when they do the Abhishek, they pour the water of the holy rivers. That's Abhishek. My Ram will be a greater king than I ever was, he knew. He is as strong as Indra and as wise as Brihaspati. Once I have made him Yuvraj, I can leave this world in peace. But then he began to see evil omens in the air and on the land, and the water that flowed ran queerly. The king thought these were signs of his end. He called his ministers and told them he wanted to crown Ram Yuvraj. Dashrath asked for the rural people of Koshal and the neighboring kings and chieftains to be called immediately to Ayodhya for the ceremony. He was in a hurry. The omens disturbed him. It would take too long for him to invite Janak. That king would rejoice whenever he heard the news. The guests began to arrive. Dashrath welcomed them according to their status and in his own. There was a regal congregation in the king's sabha, and the common people thronged the palace yard and the street outside. Like the sea when the tide is in, the crowd surged. Dashrath entered, flanked by his gurus. He climbed up to his throne, that king who was a father to his people. When the cheering died down and he had their silence, his great voice resounded like a blessing among them. You all know that since the golden Krita Yuga, the kings of my line have ruled your ancestors. Since the days of Ikshvaku himself, I too have ruled to be the best of my abilities. I have never strayed knowingly from Dharma, and I have loved you all like my own children. But now this body of mine is old, and it cannot bear the burden of kingship for much longer. The weakness of age is advanced in me. It is time, before I err as your king, that I give the reins of power to younger hands. I seek the consent of the wise who have guided me through the years. I seek all your blessings. I want to crown my son Ram Yuvraj and be at some ease in my last years. There was a swelling murmur of approval from the crowd. Dashrath raised his hand to indicate he had not finished. You all know that Ram has every royal quality, and each one in more abundant than ever I ever did. No man was ever more suited than my son to be a king. There was a roar of assent from the crowd. Again, Dashrath raised his hand for them to be quiet. But I would only make Ram the Yuvraj for now, until he grows used to the burden he must shoulder. If you do not approve of my choice, you must tell me, and also whom you would rather have as your king than Ram. But now there was no controlling them. They began to shout for Ram until Ayodhya reverberated with the syllables of his name. We will see Ram soaked with the waters of the Abhishek, and his head under the white parasol, cried someone, and the crowd roared for Ram to be king. Dashrath held up his hand again. Though his heart was full of joy, he said, I thought you were happy with my reign. Why this unseemingly delight at the very thought of Ram being crowned? But there was a twinkle in his eye. His people shouted their replies. Because he is Ram, yelled someone simply. We love him, cried another. He has more truth in him than the Devas, said a woman. He is the greatest of the Ikshwakus. He is brilliant, the strongest Kshatriya of all, wise beyond his years. He is one of us. He cries when we do. Even the earth wants Ram for her king. She told me in a dream. He is as blue as a night lotus. He is Vishnu's avatar. He is beautiful in his body and in his soul. His face wreathed in a smile. Dashrath cried to Vashisht above the din, "My lord, let us prepare to crown Ram Yuvraj." So, in other words, everybody agreed. They were more than happy to have Ram as their Yuvraj. Vashisht ordered the city of Ayodhya to be got ready for the coronation. Let there be flowers everywhere, from the palace arches to the streets, as though they sprouted for joy at this news. Let the royal road along with which Ram rides his elephant be perfumed like the gardens of Amravati. Let there be music and dance. I, Vashishta, say to you that Gandharvas will sing in the sky when Ram is crowned, and Apsaras will dance on clouds. Dashrath called Sumantra and said, "Bring my son to me." Today, Ram had gone out from the city. He should not be present when the king told the people he meant to make him Yuvraj. Sumantra went like the very yearning in the old king's heart, and Dashrath climbed the marble stairs to the terrace of his palace to watch his son ride home. He stood there, his eyes searching the horizon until a small cloud of dust appeared on it. He saw Ram's chariot with the Kovidar banner. Kovidar is a tree of gods. So that was the banner on Ram's chariot. As he flew home at his father's summons, with fond eyes, the king watched his prince ride up the highway into Ayodhya. His lank hair flew behind him. His horses were enthralled to the one who drove them. Again, Dashrath remarked how long his son's arms were. The one at his side hung down to his knees. A thought of the Eternal One who lies upon primal waters, dreaming the universe, flitted into the king's mind, but he did not care to think who else his son was apart from just his precious Ram. Just Ram was enough and more for him. He watched his prince climb down from the chariot at the palace tower. He watched him wade through the crowd that reached out to touch him. He saw him take the steps, two at a time, hurrying to his father, whom he loved as he loved his life. Then Ram was with him on the commanding terrace. Dashrath clasped his son in his arms and made him sit next to him on a golden chair. His eyes mellow with the light of age, Dashrath said solemnly, so the crowd below heard him, "Ram, you are my eldest son and dear to me as my life. These good people want me to make you their Yuvraj, and I mean to crown you when the moon is full in the Pushyami Nakshatra." The people roared their approval again, like the very ocean, shouting Ram's name and Jai. But Ram said nothing, only gazed for a moment into his father's face. Then he prostrated himself at Dashrath's feet for his blessings. Her servants came running to Kaushalya with the news, and she gave them silks and ornaments. Slowly, the crowd began to thin as the people drifted home, but Ayodhya was alive with the announcement, and soon singing and dancing broke out in the streets. But Ram distanced himself from the celebrations. He sat alone in his own palace, lost in thought. He knew he should feel much happier than he did, but then he was a wise prince and realized that kingship was always more a burden than a privilege. But he had been raised to be a king since he was born. And it was not only this thought that now worried him, another deeper anxiety stirred in his heart. For no reason he could name. Something malignant seemed to mock him from far away but quite clearly. So this is the end of this chapter. Any question?
Poonam.
Yes, Poonam.
Harshji, in the last chapter, the Rama one, there is a line that says, the old man knew nothing of Ravana of Sri Lanka and the strange and perilous path his son must. I thought Ravan was so strong and so famous that I was surprised to read that line. I thought Dashrath even went to some wars with him when in his younger days. But this one says he didn't know anything about Ravan.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Then I checked the Hindi book. It's not written there.
So maybe it is in the next book, the Tulsidas Ramayana. Maybe it is not. It wasn't here.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Could be because I think Dashrath knew about Ravan. I think he did.
They said he went to the wars, and one of the wars, that's when Kakai got the boon because she took care of him.
Exactly.
But it was a war against Ravan.
That is right.
Hershey, ये भी हो सकता है ना? What they mean is that Dashrath didn't know what was going to happen with Ram and Ravan in the future.
No, the sentence says he did not know Ravan. That's what it says.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes the way it's written, it does look like that he didn't know about Ravan, but I think Ravan, everybody knew about Ravan.
That's what another thing I thought.
All the kings, they knew about Ravan.
You have to know your adversary who's so strong.
That's right. No, you're right.
तुलसीदास की रामायण में है कि कैकेयी के फादर की हेल्प करने गए थे राम जी और कैकेयी ने उनका रथ चलाया था.
No, that will come later on. That will be mentioned in the next chapter.
When he gives her 2 boons.
Yeah. That is that's where she got the boons. Yeah. But that fight was not with Ravan though.
We know this is Smriti Granth, so we are okay about it.
This is just a Ravan. Why did this author wrote that Dashrath didn't know anything about Ravan? So
yeah, it's okay.
So anyway, but
and who was Sumantra?
Any other question, comment?
Manju
Can you tell me more about Sumantra?
Sumant. उनका वो था ना, he was the war.
He was the main right hand person of Dashrath. It's almost like he was a charioteer. Okay, he was also like a minister also.
Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Chief Minister.
So he did lot of duties, and this book this author almost says that he was an uncle to Ram basically. So very close person to Ram. Okay.
Hershey, what is Kovidra tree? Kovidra.
That is like a tree of gods. It's almost like a see, just like we make a family tree.
Oh, okay.
It's like a drawn God's tree. See, just like Arjun's banner on the chariot was Hanumanji, right? Kapidhwaj, right? So you always have some kind of an emblem,
right?
Like where are you getting your motivation?
It was like more like a family tree name, or it was just
Devas. This is like a tree of the Devatas. So different names or the drawings of different Devatas. So he got inspiration as a young warrior, because Devatas are all considered very powerful. Just like Indra, they say Indra is so powerful. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
See, just like these days also, don't the kids put some kind of they have heroes in their life and they put the portraits in their room or some kind of insignias in their room. The same thing these young warriors did. On the top of their chariots, a little flag, emblem. Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, Tripat?
नहीं, मैंने नहीं कुछ पूछा.
Okay, all right. See, what happens is, when somebody makes a little sound, your box gets lighted. See, just like when I'm speaking, my box is lighted, right? So that's what happened, Tripat. But that's okay to ask. That's okay to ask. Okay, let's do the joyful news. When Dashrath was alone, He realized he had been carried away by the crowd's excitement. He had made an impulsive commitment to his people that he would crown Ram on Pushyami, that's a nakshatra. Sumantra came to him and said, Your Majesty, the moon enters Pushyami tomorrow. So he didn't realize that I'll have to do that coronation tomorrow. Dashrath came down into his private chambers. Bring Ram to me now, he said to Sumantra. Sumantra went to Ram's palace, which was a short way from his father's. He asked to be announced to the prince. Ram came out to the Sarthi. See, Sumantra was a Sarthi also. Okay, Sarthi is a charioteer, who was like his own uncle, and taking his hand, led him inside. You have come in a hurry, Sumantra. Sit down and refresh yourself. But Sumantra said, Not now, my prince. Your father wants to see you at once. But I have just come from him. What has happened since then? Sumantra did not know. Ram felt the serpent of anxiety unfurl its hood again and hiss at him. He felt two opposing currents of fate pull against each other for the right to bear his life along. A little confused, he came out into the sunlight with Sumantra. He climbed into his chariot and drove to his father again. Dashrath embraced Ram with some emotion. I have been a good king, my son. I have kept the lamps to the gods lit in my kingdom and in my heart. But of late I have seen evil omens. In a dream I saw a great torch fall on the ground and be extinguished. I am told that by Gochar, the sun, Rahu and Angrak all afflict my Janam Nakshatra. The omens of the sky and the sleep never lie, and I fear not just for my life, but for my sanity. Ram, you must be crowned Yuvraj before some calamity strikes me down. Impulsively, I promised the people that you would be crowned when the moon is in Pushyami. I did not realize tomorrow is Pushyami. But I am determined you will be crowned tomorrow. You must keep a fast with the Sita tonight and sleep on the floor and a bed of darab grass. So these are like a signs of the tapasya. See, even now when we do a kanyadan, like a marriage, there is a fasting done by the parents for a day. Okay, so these are some of the tapasyas, austerities. The old king paused. He studied his son's noble face. Slowly he said, Ram, great fortune provokes great envy. Bharat is not here, and now is the time for you to be crowned. I know you will say he is devoted to you, but in my long years, there is one truth I have learned, that even the hearts of those who live in dharma are seldom pleased at the good fortune of others. Man's mind is like the wind and wild horses, my son, capricious and full of treachery. I feel sad to say this, but I am glad Bharat is away. Ram stood before him and did not utter a word. When Dashrath had finished, he touched his father's feet and left his presence. See, this is one thing we see, that he never argued with his father. Okay? So whatever father said, he obeyed. Sita had come to the king's palace now, and Ram went with her to meet his mother Kaushalya. They found her in the prayer room, her eyes shut. She sat before an idol of Lakshmi, goddess of fortune. She had heard her son was to be crowned Yuvraj. Sumitra and Lakshman were there as well. So Sumitra is Lakshman's mother. Waiting for her since they heard the news, and they had waited for quite some time while she prayed. When Kaushalya opened her eyes, Ram and Sita prostrated themselves before her. Ram said, My father told me I am to become the Yuvraj tomorrow. I came for your blessing. Her gracious face lit up. Laying her mother's hands on his head, she blessed him. Raising him up, Kaushalya said, Live long, my child, and may your enemies perish. Narayan heard all my prayers when I was childless, that I have a son like you. Great gifts are not given easily, and I waited years before I had you. Bless you, Ram, and you, Sita. May you both always be a joy to the mothers. Sumitra blessed Ram and Sita as they lay at her feet. Rising with a smile, Ram put his arm around Lakshman and said, "Rule the world with me, Lakshman. You shall be Yuvraj as much as I." But then it was not to be so simple. So this is the end of this chapter. Any question?
Harshji, why Dashrath had the question about Bharat, that he's not here, it's a good thing.
That's what he is saying, that even people you think they like you, they love you, but there's always a little envy inside them.
No, but why he thought? Because so
He
far...
must have had the reasons.
Uh-huh.
They did not mention the reasons. This is all they have said in the Hindi book also. The same thing.
Same thing.
Same
And
thing he said.
how come there's not a Vishisht Yoga? They have not done any mention in this book about Yoga Vishisht in this.
In this book,
Anji.
you mean Yoga Vishisht is not mentioned in this book?
Right.
Well, that is up to Valmiki ji's.
No,
right?
I mean that Rama got enlightened, or Rama got all the question answered by that guru. How come there's no mention of that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like only Rishi Valmiki can answer that, right? Maybe he just he wanted to write just a life story like this, you know. Even writing like this book became so big. Yeah, he did not even mention. Yeah, Yoga Vishisht is not even mentioned in this book. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it ended up being the imagination of the author who put that later on.
That's possible. That's possible. Sometimes the books are written जैसे कल्पना होती है ना.
Yeah.
So we don't know. Only thing we got to see the lessons we get from Yoga Vishisht and the lessons we get from Ramayana. So but Valmiki has never mentioned anywhere about Yoga Vishisht.
So it means that Yoga Vishisht was the mind thing of somebody. That's what it is. Because itna bada gyan hai, jo especially it's so important. Yoga Vishisht.
I have a feeling there must be some talk. There must be some kind of a conversation, but not to that magnitude, like a 32,000 verses. To me, I think that was added and re-added later on. That's what I would think. Okay, but I'm sure there was some little dialogue over there. So because spark to hona chahiye na.
And that is shown in Ram's personality, that he was kind of very to himself, and he did not have much interest in the world and the whole hoopla. So I'm sure to remove that part from his personality.
Yeah, there was something, and then they show that he is so obedient to his father. I mean, father said and he did it. That's it. There was no question about it.
वो तो पता ही चलता है जी, जब 14 साल के वनवास चला गया, तो it means that he was listening to his father.
Yeah,
no,
it was
he wasn't listening to his father. The father didn't want him to go. He did not listen to his father. He still went because it was the right thing to do.
No,
right thing, and he wanted
I think to keep his father's words.
To keep father's word, because father gave the word. See, that's why they said he was obsessed about the truthfulness. Truthfulness. Okay. So jaan jaye par vachan na jaye. Haven't we heard that about Ram? Right. So like it's so truthful. Whatever you say, and what do we do these days? We say something, and then later on somebody says you said it. Oh, I didn't say it. Or we end up saying sometimes I didn't mean it. Right. So we have moved away from Ram's character.
Right. पर वचन राम ने तो नहीं दिया था ना. He was.
Doesn't matter. वचन father ने दिया था. हमारे कल्चर में क्या है? Father का debt बच्चे पे करते हैं.
Compare him to our current king.
Yeah, those are the qualities, because it's a continuation. Father and then the children are the continuation of the same family. So father ने दिया था तो उसने कहा कोई बात नहीं, मैं तो father का वचन निभाऊंगा. And that's why we worship him. He did not say ever that I'm a God and worship me. We worship him because of his qualities or Sita's qualities, right? So anyway, today we're going to do 45 minutes of reading of this English. So let me do more so that, and then we'll do the Hindi. Okay. So we have decided yesterday that 45 minutes of English and 45 minutes of Hindi. So this class will be more like an hour and a half. Otherwise, it will take forever to finish this Ramayana because we are reading both English and Hindi. Preparations for a crowning. That is the next chapter. When Ram had left his presence, Dashrath called his Guru Vashishta and said, "You must see that Ram and Sita take Diksha tonight." Diksha is initiation, right? And keep a fast. So my son will have wealth, fame, and prosperity. Vashishta was a Trikal Gyani. Trikal Gyani means all three times he knew actually. It's not that he didn't know what is going to happen. He knew that. Okay, Trikal. Tri means three, Kal means times. So past, present, and future. He saw into the dim future and the deep past, but he said nothing of what he saw. He went out and climbed into the chariot that waited to take him to Ram's palace. See, these level of personalities, they don't interfere either. They don't say that, my God, I see there are bad omens in the future, I should stop it. No, they don't interfere. Got to learn from it. And at our level, what do? We run to the people who can read our dreams or read our handlines or the birth charts, and we want to change our future. And we muddy it even more. Okay. Ram received his Kul Guru, and they sat in an airy courtyard on silk-covered chairs. Vashishta called Sita and initiated the young couple into the fast for the next day's coronation. He sat with them a while, then left them. The people milled outside to see Ram, and the prince's friends and many others of importance in Ayodhya waited for him. Vashishta moved through the festive crowds in the streets. The city was in flower with blooms of every color. The main roads, the streets and alleys, the arches erected hastily and festooned, the houses, the towers and ramparts, the terraces and great pillars had all burst into a heady spring of garlands. Joy that Ram would be Yuvraj burned through Ayodhya like soft fire. Ram stood briefly on his terrace. He waved to the people and they sang out his name and Sita's in a million voices. It was dusk by now and the sky grew dark as the sun sank in the west. It was time he went in and performed the Narayana Puja. Later, Ram and Sita lay side by side on an ascetic bed of darab grass. Until they fell asleep, they gazed into each other's eyes by the moonlight flowing through the window. They were not allowed even to touch tonight, and they did not break that vow. Outside, the festivities continued through the night. Well before dawn, Ram and Sita were roused by the Sutas chanting the Vabdhe Magad. Ram rose and bathed. Facing east, he recited the Gayatri Mantra. He put on white silks and worshipped his gurus. Outside, when the first rays of the sun sprang above the horizon, the songs took up again. The singers had rested for just an hour before sunrise, so they could be fresh for the morning of a moment. But in Dashrath's palace, all was not well. I still remember when I was a little girl, there was many translations of books according to the age I read. And every time I read up to this level, I said, maybe story will change. It won't be so sad afterwards. But we all know what happens, right? So should we stop it here or continue with this? Next chapter is a little long chapter. And that is the chapter, A Queen's Mind is Poisoned.
Harshi, what is the Vabhadye Magada?
Those must be some mantras. Okay, mantras. Yeah. See, they were chanting. Those people were chanting. Those are names of. See, different hymns. They have their names also. Okay. Okay. So let's just leave it here, leave the class with a positive note, and then we'll start number 5 next week. And we all know the story, but still, while
She
we
who
are
was
reading it, we should. Yes.
Sumitra, Shatrughan's mom's name.
Yeah. Sumitra. Lakshman and Shatrughan's Sumitra.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. Actually, Kaikeyi was the youngest. Okay.
Right.
So Sumitra was the middle, and she is the one who had twins. Sumitra.
Right. Thank you.
I know
thank
these
you.
two names, Sumantra and Sumitra.
Yeah.
Similar sounding names, right?
Mm.
So Sumitra is the mother and Sumantra is the Sarathi.
Thank you.
So anybody, any question?
As soon as you finish, I have a little announcement and then you switch to Hindi.
Okay.
The books have come. I think we sent you an email. Mani Sharma sent you all an email. I am going to the ashram later on. I'll check with Harshi's availability and drop 50 books there. And for those of you who live in Oakbrook or Burridge, just write to me on the email that is in the flyer, and I will drop it at your place, because you all live nearby. You don't have to go to the ashram to pick it up. And the others who live close to the ashram can pick it up there, or if you're too far, then write to me about wanting it to be mailed to you. So all the options are in the flyer, and that's it.
Okay. Well, congratulations, Urmil. And
All your
we are looking forward to holding the book in our hands. So,
yeah, they'll
and
be
I am available, all afternoon.
around 3:34. I think
That's
my
fine.
husband will be done with his work.
Yeah,
and then
try to come after 4 because
Okay.
I have to do some ceremony for somebody on the phone.
Fine, that suits us. That suits
Yeah,
us.
the after 4 will be good. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. So now we start Ayodhya Kand in this Hindi book. श्री राम के सद्गुणों का वर्णन, राजा दशरथ का श्री राम को युवराज बनाने का विचार तथा विभिन्न नरेशों और नगर एवं जनपद के लोगों को मंत्रणा के लिए अपने दरबार में बुलाना. Okay, so this is where we started the English reading also today. पहले ये बताया जा चुका है कि भरत अपने मामा के यहाँ जाते समय काम आदि शत्रुओं को सदा के लिए नष्ट कर देने वाले निष्पाप शत्रुघ्न को भी प्रेम वश अपने साथ लेते गए थे. So Shatrughan, the name itself really means, ये नहीं कि he was अपने शत्रुओं को मारना, अपने शत्रु काम आदि. So इसका मतलब जो हमारे एनिमीज है ना हमारे अंदर, काम क्रोध लोभ मोह अहंकार मत्सर, ये शत्रुघ्न में नहीं थे, इसलिए उसका नाम शत्रुघ्न है. ओके. सो वहां भाई सहित उनका बड़ा आदर सत्कार हुआ और वे वहां सुखपूर्वक रहने लगे. उनके मामा युधाजित जो अश्वयूथ के अधिपति थे, उन दोनों पर पुत्र से भी अधिक स्नेह रखते और बड़ा लाड प्यार करते थे. यद्यपि मामा के यहाँ उन दोनों वीर भाइयों की सभी इच्छाएं पूर्ण करके उन्हें पूर्णतः तृप्त किया जाता था, तथापि वहां रहते हुए भी उन्हें अपने वृद्ध पिता महाराज दशरथ की याद कभी नहीं भूलती थी. महातेजस्वी राजा दशरथ भी प्रदेश में गए हुए महेंद्र और वरुण के समान पराक्रमी अपने उन दोनों पुत्र भरत और शत्रुघ्न का सदा स्मरण किया करते थे. अपने शरीर से प्रकट हुई चारों भुजाओं के समान वे सब चारों ही पुरुष शिरोमणि पुत्र महाराज को बहुत ही प्रिय थे, परंतु उनमें भी महातेजस्वी श्री राम सबकी अपेक्षा अधिक गुणवान होने के कारण समस्त प्राणियों के लिए ब्रह्मा जी की भांति पिता के लिए विशेष प्रीति वर्धक थे. And we all know that he was the favorite among all those four. इसका एक कारण और भी था. वे साक्षात सनातन विष्णु थे और परम प्रचंड रावण के वध की अभिलाषा रखने वाले देवताओं की प्रार्थना पर मनुष्य लोक में अवतीर्ण हुए थे. उन अमित तेजस्वी पुत्र श्री रामचंद्र जी से महारानी कौशल्या की वैसी ही शोभा होती थी जैसे वज्रधारी देवराज इंद्र से देव माता अदिति सुशोभित होती है. श्री राम बड़े ही रूपवान और पराक्रमी थे। वे किसी के दोष नहीं देखते थे। भूमंडल में उनकी समता करने वाला कोई नहीं था। वे अपने गुणों से पिता दशरथ के समान एवं योग्य पुत्र थे। वे सदा शांत चित्त रहते और सांत्वना पूर्वक मीठे वचन बोलते थे। यदि उनसे कोई कठोर बात भी कह देता तो वे उसका उत्तर नहीं देते थे। कभी कोई एक बार भी उपकार कर देता तो वे उसके उस एक ही उपकार से सदा संतुष्ट रहते थे। उस मन को वश में रखने के कारण किसी के सैकड़ों अपराध करने पर भी उसके अपराधी को याद नहीं रखते थे। अस्त्र शस्त्रों के अभ्यास के लिए उपयुक्त समय में भी बीच बीच में अवसर निकालकर वे उत्तम चरित्र में, ज्ञान में तथा अवस्था में बड़े चढ़े सत्पुरुषों के साथ ही सदा बातचीत करते और उनसे शिक्षा लेते थे। वे बड़े बुद्धिमान थे, सदा मीठे वचन बोलते थे। अपने पास हुए मनुष्यों से पहले स्वयं ही बात करते और ऐसी बातें मुंह से निकालते जो उन्हें प्रिय लगे। बल और पराक्रम से संपन्न होने पर भी अपने महान पराक्रम के कारण उन्हें कभी गर्व नहीं होता था। झूठी बात तो उनके मुख से कभी निकलती ही नहीं थी। वे विद्वान थे और सदा वृद्ध पुरुषों का सम्मान किया करते थे। प्रजा का श्री राम के प्रति और श्री राम का प्रजा के प्रति बड़ा अनुराग था। So sometimes if we want to know what kind of qualities we need to cultivate, these are the qualities which are mentioned over here. वे परम दयालु, क्रोध को जीतने वाले और ब्राह्मणों के पुजारी थे। उनके मन में दीन दुखियों के प्रति बड़ी दया थी। वे धर्म के रहस्य को जानने वाले, इंद्रियों को सदा वश में रखने वाले और बाहर भीतर से परम पवित्र थे। अपने कुलोचित आचार, दया, उदारता और शरणागत रक्षा आदि में ही उनका मन लगता था। वे अपने क्षत्रिय धर्म को अधिक महत्व देते और मानते थे। वे उस क्षत्रिय धर्म के पालन से महान स्वर्ग को प्राप्ति मानते थे, अतः बड़ी प्रसन्नता के साथ उसमें संलग्न रहते थे। So this whole chapter is like all the qualities. So I'm not going to go over, but later on, towards the end of this chapter, जैसे सूर्य देव अपनी किरणों से प्रकाशित होते हैं, उसी प्रकार श्री रामचंद्र जी समस्त प्रजाओं को प्रिय लगने वाले तथा पिता की प्रीति बढ़ाने वाले 7 गुणों से सुशोभित होते थे। अपने पुत्र श्री राम को अनेक अनुपम गुणों से युक्त देखकर शत्रुओं को संताप देने वाले राजा दशरथ ने मन ही मन कुछ विचार करना आरंभ किया। उन चिरंजीवी बूढ़े महाराज दशरथ के हृदय में यह चिंता हुई कि किस प्रकार मेरे जीते जी श्री रामचंद्र राजा हो जाए और उनके राज्याभिषेक से प्राप्त होने वाली ये प्रसन्नता मुझे कैसे सुलभ हो। उनके हृदय में ये उत्तम अभिलाषा बारंबार चक्कर लगाने लगी कि कब मैं अपने प्रिय पुत्र श्री राम का राज्याभिषेक देखूंगा। वे सोचने लगे कि श्री राम सब लोगों के अभ्युदय की कामना करते और संपूर्ण जीवों पर दया रखते हैं। वे लोक में वर्षा करने वाले मेघ की भांति मुझसे भी बढ़कर प्रिय हो गए हैं। श्री राम बल पराक्रम में यम और इंद्र के समान, बुद्धि में बृहस्पति के समान और धैर्य में पर्वत के समान है। गुणों में तो वे मुझसे सर्वथा बड़े चढ़े हैं। मैं इसी उम्र में अपने बेटे श्री राम को सारी पृथ्वी का राज्य करते देख यथा समय सुख से स्वर्ग प्राप्त करूं, यही मेरे जीवन की साध है। इस प्रकार विचार कर तथा अपने पुत्र श्री राम को उन नाना प्रकार के विलक्षण, सज्जन उचित, असंख्य तथा लोकोत्तर गुणों से जो अन्य राजाओं में दुर्लभ हैं विभूषित देख राजा दशरथ ने मंत्रियों के साथ सलाह करके उन्हें युवराज बनाने का निश्चय कर लिया। बुद्धिमान महाराज दशरथ ने मंत्री को स्वर्ग, अंतरिक्ष तथा भूतल में दृष्टिगोचर होने वाले उत्पातों का घोर भय सूचित किया। See, these are the bad omens which read about in the other book. And अपने शरीर में वृद्धावस्था के आगमन की भी बात बताई। पूर्ण चंद्रमा के समान मनोहर मुख वाले महात्मा श्री राम समस्त प्रजा के प्रिय थे। लोक में उनका सर्वप्रिय होना राजा के अपने आंतरिक शोक को दूर करने वाला था। इस बात को राजा ने अच्छी तरह समझा। तदंतर उपयुक्त समय आने पर धर्मात्मा राजा दशरथ ने अपने और प्रजा के कल्याण के लिए मंत्रियों को श्री राम के राज्याभिषेक के लिए शीघ्र तैयारी करने की आज्ञा दी। इस उतावली में उनके हृदय का प्रेम और प्रजा का अनुराग भी कारण था। उन भूपाल ने भिन्न भिन्न नगरों में निवास करने वाले प्रधान प्रधान पुरुषों तथा अन्य जनपदों के संबंध राजाओं को भी मंत्रियों द्वारा अयोध्या में बुलाया। उन सब को ठहरने के लिए घर देकर नाना प्रकार के आभूषणों द्वारा उनका यथा योग्य सत्कार किया। तत्पश्चात स्वयं भी अलंकृत होकर राजा दशरथ उन सब से उसी प्रकार मिले जैसे प्रजापति ब्रह्मा प्रजा वर्ग से मिलते हैं। जल्दबाजी के कारण राजा दशरथ ने कैकेयी नरेश को तथा मिथिलापति जनक को भी नहीं बुलवाया। उन्होंने सोचा वे दोनों संबंधी इस प्रिय समाचार को पीछे सुन लेंगे। तदंतर शत्रु नगरी को पीड़ित करने वाले राजा दशरथ जब दरबार में आ बैठे तब शेष सभी लोकप्रिय नरेशों ने राजसभा में प्रवेश किया। वे सभी नरेश राजा द्वारा दिए गए नाना प्रकार के सिंहासन पर उन्हीं की ओर मुंह करके विनीत भाव से बैठे थे। राजा से सम्मानित होकर विनीत भाव से उन्हीं के आसपास बैठे हुए समंत नरेशों तथा नगर और जनपद के निवासी मनुष्यों में घिरे हुए महाराज दशरथ उस समय देवताओं के बीच में विराजमान सहस्त्र नेत्रधारी भगवान इंद्र के समान शोभा पा रहे थे। So, in other words, this decision was not just made just by himself. He sure decided, and Ram was qualified, but he called everybody, all the kings who were close by, and the Janta also. But must be all the prominent people in the Janta. So, दूसरा सर्ग, राजा दशरथ द्वारा श्री राम के राज्याभिषेक का प्रस्ताव तथा सभासदों द्वारा श्री राम के गुणों का वर्णन करते हुए उक्त प्रस्ताव का सहर्ष युक्ति युक्त समर्थन। Okay, so he announced, and then everybody agreed overwhelmingly, just like we read in the other book. उस समय राजसभा में बैठे हुए सब लोगों को संबोधित करके महाराज दशरथ ने मेघ के समान शब्द करते हुए दुंदुभी की ध्वनि के सदृश अत्यंत गंभीर एवं गूंजते हुए उच्च स्वर से सबके आनंद को बढ़ाने वाले ये हितकारक बात कही। राजा दशरथ का स्वर राजोचित, स्निग्धता और गंभीरता आदि गुणों से युक्त था, अत्यंत कमनीय और अनुपम था। वे उस अद्भुत रसमय स्वर से समस्त नरेशों को संबोधित करके बोले, सज्जनों, आप लोगों को ये तो विदित ही है कि मेरे पूर्वज राजधिराजों ने इस श्रेष्ठ राज्य का किस प्रकार पुत्र की भांति पालन किया था। समस्त इक्ष्वाकु वंशी नरेशों ने जिसका प्रतिपालन किया है, उस सुख भोगने के योग्य संपूर्ण जगत को अब मैं भी कल्याण का भागी बनाना चाहता हूँ। मेरे पूर्वज जिस मार्ग पर चलते आए हैं उसी का अनुसरण करते हुए मैंने भी सदा जागरूक रहकर समस्त प्रजाजनों की यथाशक्ति रक्षा की है। समस्त संसार का हित साधन करते हुए मैंने इस शरीर को श्वेत राज छत्र की छाया में बूढ़ा किया है। अनेक सहस्र वर्षों की आयु पाकर जीवित रहते हुए अपने इस जरा जीर्ण शरीर को अब मैं विश्राम देना चाहता हूँ। जगत के धर्म पूर्वक संरक्षण का भारी भार राजाओं के शौर्य आदि प्रभावों से ही उठाना संभव है। अजितेंद्रिय पुरुषों के लिए इस बोझ को ढोना अत्यंत कठिन है। मैं दीर्घ काल से इस भारी भार को वहन करते करते थक गया हूँ। इसलिए यहाँ पास बैठे हुए इन संपूर्ण श्रेष्ठ द्विजों की अनुमति लेकर प्रजाजनों के हित के कार्य में अपने पुत्र श्री राम को नियुक्त करके अब मैं राज कार्य से विश्राम लेना चाहता हूँ। द्विज, that is a technical word for the gurus or anybody who's initiated also. द्विज, दो बार जन्म होना, द्विज. So one time we were born from the womb of our mother, and the second birth is when our guru gets us out of the ignorance. So द्विज. मेरे पुत्र श्री राम मेरी अपेक्षा सभी गुणों में श्रेष्ठ हैं। शत्रुओं की नगरी पर विजय पाने वाले श्री रामचंद्र बल पराक्रम में देवराज इंद्र के समान हैं। लक्ष्मण के बड़े भाई श्रीमान राम आप लोगों के लिए योग्य स्वामी सिद्ध होंगे। उनके जैसे स्वामी से संपूर्ण त्रिलोकी की भी परम सनात हो सकती है। So he just goes on, and then later on, let me just tell you how just like in the English book, everybody agreed that Ram is the right person. Okay. So इस नगर की बूढ़ी और युवती सब तरह की स्त्रियां सवेरे और सायंकाल में एकाग्रचित होकर परम उदार श्री रामचंद्र जी के युवराज होने के लिए देवताओं से नमस्कार पूर्वक प्रार्थना किया करती हैं। देव उनकी ये प्रार्थना आपके कृपा प्रसाद से पूर्ण होनी चाहिए। नृप श्रेष्ठ जो नील कमल के समान श्याम कामिनी सुशोभित तथा समस्त शत्रुओं का संहार करने में समर्थ है, आपके उन ज्येष्ठ पुत्र श्री राम को हम युवराज पद पर विराजमान देखना चाहते हैं। So they all agreed. अतः वरदायक महाराज आप देवाधिदेव श्री विष्णु के समान पराक्रमी संपूर्ण लोकों के हित में संलग्न रहने वाले और महापुरुषों द्वारा सेवित अपने पुत्र श्री रामचंद्र जी का जितना शीघ्र ही हो सके प्रसन्नता पूर्वक राज्याभिषेक कीजिए, इसी में हम लोगों का हित है। सो देन तीसरा सर्ग, राजा दशरथ का वशिष्ठ और वामदेव जी को श्री राम के राज्याभिषेक की तैयारी करने के लिए कहना और उनका सेवकों को तदनुरूप आदेश देना। राजा की आज्ञा से सुमंत्र का श्री राम को राजसभा में बुला लाना और राजा का अपने पुत्र श्री राम को हित कर राजनीति की बातें बताना। सभासदों ने कमल पुष्प की सी आकृति वाली अपनी अंजलियों को सिर से लगाकर सब प्रकार से महाराज के प्रस्ताव का समर्थन किया। उनकी वह पद्म अंजलि स्वीकार करके राजा दशरथ उन सबसे प्रिय और हितकारी वचन बोले। अहो, आप लोग जो मेरे परम प्रिय ज्येष्ठ पुत्र श्री राम को युवराज के पद पर प्रतिष्ठित देखना चाहते हैं, इससे मुझे बड़ी प्रसन्नता हुई है तथा मेरा प्रभाव अनुपम हो गया है। इस प्रकार की बातों से पूर्वासी तथा अन्य अन्य सभासदों का सत्कार करके राजा उनके सुनते हुए ही वामदेव और वशिष्ठ आदि ब्राह्मणों से इस प्रकार कहा, ये चैत्र मास बड़ा सुंदर और पवित्र है, इसमें सारे वन उपवन खिल उठे हैं, अतः इस समय श्री राम का युवराज पद पर अभिषेक करने के लिए आप लोग सब सामग्री एकत्र कराइए। राजा की ये बात समाप्त होने पर सब लोग हर्ष के कारण महान कोलाहल करने लगे। धीरे धीरे उस जनरव के शांत होने पर प्रजापालक नरेश दशरथ ने मुनि प्रवर वशिष्ठ से बात कही, भगवान श्री राम के अभिषेक के लिए जो कर्म आवश्यक हो उसे सांग उपांग बताइए और आज ही उन सब की तैयारी करने के लिए सेवकों को आज्ञा दीजिए। महाराज का ये वचन सुनकर मुनिवर वशिष्ठ ने राजा के सामने हाथ जोड़कर खड़े हुए आज्ञा पालन के लिए तैयार रहने वाले सेवकों से कहा, तुम लोग सुवर्ण आदि रत्न, देव पूजन की सामग्री, सब प्रकार की औषधियां, श्वेत पुष्पों की मालाएं, खील, अलग अलग पात्रों में शहद और घी, नए वस्त्र, रथ, सब प्रकार के अस्त्र शस्त्र, चंद्रघुनी सेना, उत्तम लक्षणों से युक्त हाथी, चमड़ी गाय की पूंछ के बालों से बने हुए 2 व्यंजन, ध्वज, श्वेत छत्र, अग्नि के समान दीप्यमान सोने के 100 कलश, सुवर्ण से मड़े हुए सींगों वाला एक सान, समूचा व्याघ्र चर्म तथा और जो कुछ भी वांछनीय वस्तुएं हैं उन सबको एकत्र करो और प्रातः काल महाराज की अग्निशाला में पहुंचा दो। So in other words, there was a yajna done before all this too. Okay, so the presence of divinity or God was never forgotten. अंतःपुर तथा समस्त नगर के सभी दरवाजों को चंदन और मालाओं से सजा दो तथा वहां ऐसे धूप सुलगा दो जो अपनी सुगंध से लोगों को आकर्षित कर ले। And then there's a more detail over there. सेवकों को इस प्रकार कार्य करने का आदेश देकर दोनों ब्राह्मण वशिष्ठ और वामदेव ने पुरोहित द्वारा संपादित होने योग्य क्रियाओं को स्वयं पूर्ण किया। राजा के बताए हुए कार्यों के अतिरिक्त भी जो शेष अवश्य कर्तव्य था उसे भी उन दोनों ने राजा से पूछकर स्वयं ही संपन्न किया। तदंतर महाराज के पास जाकर प्रसन्नता और हर्ष से भरे हुए वे दोनों श्रेष्ठ द्विज बोले, राजन, आपने जैसे कहा था उसके अनुसार सब कार्य संपन्न हो गया। इसके बाद तेजस्वी राजा दशरथ ने सुमंत्र से कहा, सखे, पवित्र आत्मा श्री राम को तुम शीघ्र यहाँ बुला लाओ। तब जो आज्ञा कहकर सुमंत्र गए तथा राजा के आदेश अनुसार रथियों में श्रेष्ठ श्री राम को रथ पर बिठा कर ले आए। उस राजभवन में साथ बैठे हुए पूर्व, उत्तर, पश्चिम और दक्षिण के भूपाल, मलेच्छ, आर्य तथा वनों और पर्वतों में रहने वाले अन्य अन्य मनुष्य सब के सब उस समय राजा दशरथ की उसी प्रकार उपासना कर रहे थे जैसे देवता देवराज इंद्र की। श्री राम दोनों हाथ जोड़कर विनीत भाव से पिता के पास गए और अपना नाम सुनाते हुए उन्होंने उनके दोनों चरणों में प्रणाम किया। श्री राम को पास आकर हाथ जोड़कर प्रणाम करते देख राजा ने उनके दोनों हाथ पकड़ लिए और अपने प्रिय पुत्र को पास खींचकर छाती से लगा लिया। उस समय राजा ने उन श्री रामचंद्र जी को मणि जटित सुवर्ण से भूषित एक परम सुंदर सिंहासन पर बैठने की आज्ञा दी जो पहले से उन्हीं के लिए वहां उपस्थित किया गया था। जैसे निर्मल सूर्य उदय काल में मेरु पर्वत को अपनी किरणों से उद्भासित कर देते हैं, उसी प्रकार श्री रघुनाथ जी उस श्रेष्ठ आसन को ग्रहण करके अपनी ही प्रभा से उसे प्रकाशित करने लगे। जैसे कश्यप देवराज इंद्र को पुकारते हैं, उसी प्रकार पुत्रवानों में श्रेष्ठ राजा दशरथ सिंहासन पर बैठे हुए अपने पुत्र श्री राम को संबोधित करके उनसे इस प्रकार बोले, बेटा, तुम्हारा जन्म मेरी बड़ी महारानी कौशल्या के गर्भ से हुआ है। तुम अपनी माता के अनुरूप ही उत्पन्न हुए हो। श्री राम, तुम गुणों में मुझसे भी बढ़कर हो, अतः मेरे परम प्रिय पुत्र हो। तुमने अपने गुणों से इस समस्त प्रजाओं को प्रसन्न कर लिया है, इसलिए कल पुष्य नक्षत्र के योग में युवराज का पद ग्रहण करो। बेटा, यद्यपि तुम स्वभाव से गुणवान हो और तुम्हारे विषय में यही सब का निर्णय है, तथापि मैं स्नेहवश सद्गुण संपन्न होने पर भी तुम्हें कुछ हित की बातें बताता हूँ। तुम और भी अधिक विनय का आश्रय लेकर सदा जितेंद्रिय बने रहो। काम और क्रोध से उत्पन्न होने वाले दुर्व्यसनों का सर्वथा त्याग कर दो। परोक्ष वृत्ति से तथा प्रत्यक्ष वृत्ति से, अर्थात दरबार में सामने आकर कहने वाली जनता के मुख से उसके वृतांतों का प्रत्यक्ष देख सुनकर ठीक ठाक न्याय विचार में तत्पर रहो। मंत्री, सेनापति आदि समस्त अधिकारियों तथा प्रजाजनों को सदा प्रसन्न रखना। जो राजा कोष्ठानगर तथा शस्त्रागार आदि के द्वारा उपयोगी वस्तुओं का बहुत बड़ा संग्रह करके मंत्री, सेनापति और प्रजा आदि समस्त कृत्यों को प्रिय मानकर उन्हें अपने प्रति अनुरक्त एवं प्रसन्न रखते हुए पृथ्वी का पालन करता है, उसके मित्र उसी प्रकार आनंदित होते हैं जैसे अमृत को पाकर देवता प्रसन्न हुए। So he is coaching his son, even though I'm sure all his life he got a lot of coaching, but at the last minute he is just giving some more details. So he says, इसलिए बेटा, तुम अपने चित्त को वश में रखकर इस प्रकार के उत्तम आचरणों का पालन करते रहो। राजा की ये बातें सुनकर श्री रामचंद्र जी का प्रिय करने वाला सुहृदों ने तुरंत माता कौशल्या के पास जाकर उन्हें ये शुभ समाचार निवेदन किया। नारियों में श्रेष्ठ कौशल्या ने वह प्रिय संवाद सुनाने वाले उन सुहृदों को तरह तरह के रत्न, सुवर्ण और गौएं पुरस्कार रूप में दिए। सो श्री राम को राज्य देने का निश्चय करके राजा का सुमंत्र द्वारा पुनः श्री राम को बुलवाकर उन्हें आवश्यक बातें बताना, श्री राम का कौशल्या के भवन में जाकर माता को यह समाचार बताना और माता से आशीर्वाद पाकर लक्ष्मण से प्रेम पूर्वक वार्तालाप करके अपने महल में जाना। राजसभा से पूर्ववासियों के चले जाने पर कार्य सिद्धि के योग्य देश काल के नियम को जानने वाले प्रभावशाली नरेश ने पुनः मंत्रियों के साथ सलाह करके ये निश्चय किया कि कल ही पुण्य नक्षत्र होगा, अतः कल ही मुझे अपने पुत्र कमल नयन श्री राम का युवराज के पद पर अभिषेक कर देना चाहिए। So originally he did not see that it will be that soon, but when he said that tomorrow is the best time according to the nakshatra. तदंतर अंतःपुर में जाकर महाराज दशरथ ने सूत को बुलाया और आज्ञा दी, जाओ श्री राम को एक बार फिर यहाँ बुला लाओ। First he came when everybody was there, then he called him again. उनकी आज्ञा श्रद्धार्य करके सुमंत्र श्री राम को शीघ्र बुला लाने के लिए पुनः उनके महल में गए। द्वारपालों ने श्री राम को सुमंत्र के पुनः आगमन की सूचना दी। उनका आगमन सुनते ही श्री राम के मन में संदेह हो गया। उन्हें भीतर बुलाकर श्री राम ने उनसे बड़ी उतावली के साथ पूछा, आपको पुनः आने की यहाँ आवश्यकता पड़ी, ये पूर्ण रूप से बताइए। तब सूत ने उनसे कहा, महाराज आपसे मिलना चाहते हैं। मेरी इस बात को सुनकर वहां जाने या ना जाने का निर्णय आप स्वयं करें। सूत का ये वचन सुनकर श्री रामचंद्र जी महाराज दशरथ का पुनः दर्शन करने के लिए तुरंत उनके महल की ओर चल दिए। पिता के भवन में प्रवेश करते ही श्रीमान रघुनाथ जी ने उन्हें देखा और दूर से ही हाथ जोड़कर वे उनके चरणों में पड़ गए। प्रणाम करते हुए श्री राम को उठाकर महाराज ने छाती से लगा लिया और उन्हें बैठने के लिए आसन देकर पुनः उनसे इस प्रकार कहना आरंभ किया, श्री राम, अब मैं बूढ़ा हुआ, मेरी आयु बहुत अधिक हो गई। मैंने बहुत से मनोवांछित भोग लिए, अन्न और बहुत सी दक्षिणाओं से युक्त सैकड़ों यज्ञ भी कर लिए। And then he talked about all the omens he is saying. So he says, इसलिए उस पुण्य नक्षत्र में ही तुम अपना अभिषेक करा लो। शत्रुओं को संताप देने वाले वीर, मेरा मन इस कार्य में बहुत शीघ्रता करने को कहता है, इस कारण कल अवश्य ही मैं तुम्हारा युवराज पद अभिषेक कर दूंगा। अतः तुम इस समय से लेकर सारी रात इंद्रिय संयम पूर्वक रहते हुए वधु सीता के साथ उपवास करो और कुश की शैया पर सोवो। जब तक भरत इस नगर से बाहर अपने मामा के यहाँ निवास करते हैं, तब तक ही तुम्हारा अभिषेक हो जाना मुझे उचित प्रतीत होता है। I just wanted to read this so that you know that the English translation is accurate. Okay? इसमें संदेह नहीं, सो ये दशरथ जी बोल रहे हैं, इसमें संदेह नहीं कि तुम्हारे भाई भरत सत्पुरुषों के आचार व्यवहार में स्थित हैं, अपने बड़े भाई का अनुसरण करने वाले धर्मात्मा, दयालु और जितेंद्रिय हैं, तथापि मनुष्यों का चित्त प्रायः स्थिर नहीं रहता। ऐसा मेरा मन है। रघुनंदन धर्मपरायण सत्पुरुषों का मन भी विभिन्न कारणों से राग द्वेष आदि से संयुक्त हो जाता है। So it doesn't take that long for the Rajasic Tattva to enter, even in good people, so-called good people. And that must be the observation of Dashrath. Okay. Yes, Jyoti.
Urmil Chawla has a question.
Now or later or another day, I want to have this discussion on Lord King Dashrath having any, जिसको कहते हैं दिल में काला, क्यों भरत की एब्सेंस में ये सब होता है? क्योंकि इसने कैकेयी को वचन दिया हुआ था कि मैं तेरा बेटा किंग बनेगा. Was he being conniving or what? I mean, this is a debate I really want to have.
नहीं, ये वचन नहीं दिया था कि किंग बनेगा. ये वचन, दो वचन दिए हुए थे कि दो मैं तुम्हें वचन देता हूँ, किसी वक्त भी मांग लेना, because she is the one who saved his life.
Yeah, but राजा
नहीं, शादी से पहले उसको कहता है.
नहीं, उसने कैकेयी को नहीं दिया था, उसके फादर को दिया था कि तुम उससे जो पुत्र पैदा होगा उसको मैं अपना राज्याभिषेक करूंगा, अपना ये बनाऊंगा. कैकेयी को नहीं दिया. कैकेयी को तो पता भी नहीं था कि ऐसा उसने उसके बाप से बोला.
अच्छा, और इसमें कहीं नहीं लिखा.
जब कैकेयी को पता चला, इसके बाद में उसके अंदर दुए मोह ये खत्म हो गया कि मेरे
बेटे कैकेयी को तो वो मंत्रा ने, विल रीड अबाउट दैट आल्सो कि मंत्रा ने कैसे कहा, पर इसमें वचन के बारे में कहीं नहीं लिखा. वाल्मीकि जी ने कहीं लिखा कि पिता को वचन दिया था. ये there are so many different versions.
Yeah.
थोड़ी बहुत ट्विस्ट भी हो जाती हैं बातें, but we are just trying to stick with this Valmiki's Ramayana. So over here बस इतना ही लिखा है कि भरत अच्छा है, he's a good man, but he could be jealous.
Okay, because
the rightful heir is Ram. He is the eldest.
But भरत क्यों jealous होगा? लक्ष्मण भी jealous हो सकता था और शत्रुघ्न भी jealous हो सकता था, पर why भरत का क्यों उसको?
Because to me maybe Kaikeyi was the favorite. Again we saw. Right? So everything is not even in our life. Don't we see that everything is not black and white?
Yeah.
Some of the emotions, some of the events. Some things happen, they are in the gray area also. अगर life black and white ही होती तो बड़े simple होती. It's not as simple, है ना? So like sometimes the actions we do, they look very good, but our motive behind the action is not that good.
हाँ, मैं उसी का genesis समझने की कोशिश कर रही थी.
नहीं, it is like दशरथ ने जिंदगी जी हुई थी. बाद में ये भी देखना, वो कैकेयी खुद भी कहती है, मंत्रा कहती है कैकेयी को कि you haven't been so nice to कौशल्या. So उन रानियों में भी तो आपस में jealousy थी ना. So कैकेयी was a favorite of Dashrath. She was the most beautiful and she was the youngest. So she said, कभी कहती है कि you have been so mean to कौशल्या, and बाद में कौशल्या भी कहेगी कि कैकेयी ने सारी उम्र मेरे साथ ऐसा किया. So ये underneath, I mean, ठीक है, सहन तो करना, कई बार सहन चीजें करनी पड़ती हैं. I mean, we have all worked in the corporate world also, but in our families also, there's always something underneath the surface, right?
ठीक
So
है.
that's what
But,
over.
I mean, I feel like dissecting
Yeah,
to
I know.
get to the root of
Yeah,
all
but
the
but
problem
the
from
real
Kakai's
root will
feelings
never
and all.
know. These are all our interpretations. But over here, the reason I'm reading this to you, कि यहाँ लिखा है वाल्मीकि जी ने साफ कि दशरथ जी ने राम को कहा कि भरत यहाँ नहीं है, इसी वक्त ही करना है. And according to the astrology, that was the right time.
That I understand. I agree. But to say कि भरत नहीं है, I don't like it.
Yeah,
Even
he says Bharat nahi hai, I like it. Right? He says I like it. This is the right time. Yes, Jyoti.
Poonam,
Harji, looks like Dashrath definitely is very much, what should I say, like a Kshatriya or more like a Rajasic. Definitely much more, because he has favorites already. He has a favorite son, then he has a favorite wife. And
Definitely.
so he's playing favorite. And though they say he was a great king, I'm sure he was also definitely not that awesome king. So when people become kings, they have to be definitely very Rajasic. So very few on this earth would be maybe Ram. That's why Ram is Ram, because he became a king and he wasn't that Rajasic. But all these guys are just regular Rajasic. We are watching Buddha's story. His father was so ambitious for his son. And so is Dashrath, so ambitious for his son.
Yeah.
And if they stayed, they would not be either Buddha or Ram, seriously.
Yeah,
That's
no,
how
that
I
is
look at
right.
it.
Even in Bhagavad Gita, when Lord Krishna talks about the qualities of a Kshatriya, all those qualities are predominantly Rajasic qualities.
Rajasic qualities.
Yeah. So Dashrath was Rajasic, definitely.
And Rajasic and very much, I would say, involved in all the politics of the story. Like
and
us,
that's,
he would be.
and he lived for thousands of years, so he knew the human psychology, and he had a.
But he just stayed. But how come he never became a Brahman by then? 1,000 years, you learn so much. He did not learn a whole lot.
Well, in that lifetime, he just didn't want to become a Brahman yet. He was born as a Kshatriya, he died as a Kshatriya.
Kshatriya, exactly.
Okay, so this was just a one lifetime.
And with his deep likes and dislikes, he never conquered that part.
Oh yeah.
He never conquered
he had
that
a very strong like, and he died also because of the too much attachment to the sun.
Attachment, exactly.
And these are the lessons we need to learn, and how can we.
1,000 years on this earth, and he didn't even become that Jnani. I'm surprised. So much pain he must have seen in his life, he still didn't become Jnani. That's something else.
Exactly.
All right.
And not only that, Bhagwan uske ghar mein aaye, janam liya. Okay, so इसमें संदेह नहीं कि तुम्हारे भाई भरत सत्पुरुषों के आचार व्यवहार में स्थित हैं, अपने बड़े भाई का अनुसरण करने वाले, धर्मात्मा, दयालु और जितेंद्रिय हैं, तथापि मनुष्यों का चित्त प्रायः स्थिर नहीं रहता. This is the key word. ऐसा मेरा मत है. So this is his opinion. Bharat was not like that though. Later on we saw Bharat, right? But ये दशरथ जी की रीडिंग थी. रघुनंदन धर्मपरायण सत्पुरुषों का मन भी विभिन्न कारणों से राग द्वेष आदि से संयुक्त हो जाता है. राजा के इस प्रकार कहने और कल होने वाले राज्याभिषेक के निमित्त व्रत पालन के लिए जाने की आज्ञा देने पर श्री रामचंद्र जी पिता को प्रणाम करके अपने महल में गए. So हम सोचेंगे why Ram did not say no, Bharat is not like that. आजकल के बच्चे क्या करेंगे? They'll argue with the parents, right? But Ramchandra ji, that was his nature. That's what he stands for. कि अपने मैंने तो अपने बाप का क्या ना मानना. Right or wrong doesn't matter.
Back then, he सारे के सारे भाई इतने अच्छे थे.
Ram did not agree. He just listened. That's all.
He listened and he did. He followed the जैसे आज्ञा पालन किया अपने बाप का.
Right.
Okay. So.
सारे भाई इतने अच्छे थे ना, सारे लोग इतने अच्छे थे, सारे इतने अच्छे थे। देखो उनसे जब पूछा गया माँ के सामने कि भाई मेरा दिल है कुछ देने का, तो क्या मांगा सबने किसी ने नहीं कहा मेरे को एक जरा डायमंड सेट ले दो।
बट आजकल के बच्चे अथॉरिटेरियन पेरेंट्स की नहीं सुनते। इवन इफ यू गो टू पेरेंट टीचर मीटिंग्स, वो कहती है बी डेमोक्रेटिक, से वुड यू लाइक टू डू दिस, फॉरगेट इट।
This happened in Treta Yuga, we are in Kali Yuga.
Kali Yuga में काफी आगे जा चुके हैं।
Let me just read the titles and reach up to that because time हो गया है। राजा दशरथ के अनुरोध से वशिष्ठ जी का सीता सहित श्री राम को उपवास व्रत की दीक्षा देकर आना और राजा को इस समाचार से अवगत कराना, राजा का अंतःपुर में प्रवेश। ओके, सीता सहित श्री राम का नियम परायण होना, हर्ष में भरे पुरवासियों द्वारा नगर की सजावट, राजा के प्रति कृतज्ञता प्रकट करना तथा अयोध्यापुरी में जनपदवासी मनुष्यों की भीड़ का एकत्र होना। So we read all that in English. So it's a similar story over here. श्री राम के अभिषेक का समाचार का now 7वें सर्ग से शुरू होगा जब कई मंत्रा that story. Okay, so up to here छठा सर्ग, अगर आपके पास हिंदी वाली किताब है, इसमें all that happy news, everybody singing, decorating, praying, so all that happens over here. Okay, so main thing we found out over here that everybody wanted Ram as a king. Dashrath, definitely he was old and he just wanted to see his son get crowned.
Arashji, could I ask a question?
Sure, Prem.
Arashji, is there a special reason why we are reading both Hindi and...
Because some people want to like Hindi.
I see.
So, and then English, definitely we read the whole thing in English because everybody knows English. But Hindi की पढ़कर क्या होता है, कई बार English की translation and summary पढ़ो, sometimes we get a little doubt कि ऐसा ही है कि author ने change कर दिया. Excuse me. तो जब मैं हिंदी में पढ़ती हूँ, so I just bring out that point where could be a little doubt. So जैसे often people wonder कि क्यों किया भरत के absence में और अचानक क्यों कर दिया? Why all of a sudden? All of a sudden he didn't want to do it. पर उनके मुंह से निकल गया कि इस नक्षत्र में करना है, वो नक्षत्र अगले दिन था. And this is what we read over here. Okay, so there was no conspiracy over here. It's more like it just had to happen this way. Okay, और भरत को भी कोई जानबूझकर नहीं भेजा था. ये नहीं कि उनको भेज दिया कि अब ये ऐसा करेंगे. No, there was no plot like that. It just happened to be like this, and then he says, because दिल में आता है कि इतनी बड़ी चीज होनी है, भाई सारे होने चाहिए. वो कहते हैं अच्छा बात है, यहाँ नहीं है कोई बात नहीं. They'll be happy to hear it. जनक जी भी नहीं थे, मतलब it's like a close relationship now. जनक and दशरथ, उनको भी नहीं बुलाया क्योंकि टाइम नहीं था, दूर रहते थे. You saw that when the wedding procession went, it took 5 days to reach there. Okay, so 5 दिन इंतजार नहीं कर सकते थे अब. So we do the coronation. Okay, so Prem, this is the reason I like to read both. But Hindi में हम सारा detail में नहीं पढ़ते. But the people who have the Hindi books, they like to read it at home also. And I just want to make sure that there's no fact misrepresented in the English book. Okay, anybody else?
Good.
So we'll start with the 7th सर्ग in the Hindi book, because वहाँ कहते हैं कि श्री राम के अभिषेक का समाचार पाकर खिन्न हुई मंथरा. And मंथरा we know वो कैकेयी की दासी है. वो she was there in the sense कि कैकेयी राज में वहां पर जब अभी कैकेयी पैदा भी नहीं हुई थी, तब से she was in that related to that royal family. So मंथरा का कैकेयी को उभारना, परंतु प्रसन्न हुई कैकेयी का उसे पुरस्कार रूप में आभूषण देना और वर मांगने के लिए प्रेरित करना। क्योंकि जब मंथरा ने कहा कि राम का अभिषेक होना है, वो तो इतनी खुश हो गई, उसने फटाफट उसके गले में हार डाला। But then उसको, she really poisoned her mind, and we know what happens after that. So we'll just read from there. So if you don't have any question, we'll stop it here and just a little bit chanting, and then we'll end today's class. Okay, Manny.
Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, 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 Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri
Thank you very much. Have a good day. So I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to